It's going to be a big year for national politics, statewide politics. There's a lot going on. Just a few days ago, I was called by the Boston Globe asking me when I'm going to announce. The Boston Globe. It actually was a cordial conversation. The Boston Globe. They recognize that we're sitting on 48% of the vote from 2010. We have to swing 2 points. Even the Globe wants a rematch. There's a lot going on. If you remember in 2010, we were still, well actually we were deep into the recession, but all the incumbents were saying, Massachusetts is leading the charge out of the recession. Remember that? And then came the election time, and 2 months later, even in the Globe, as well as reported in the other papers, the study came out that showed Massachusetts was actually at the bottom of the list for coming out of the recession. Here we are again in an election year, and what have we heard? Massachusetts is again leading the charge out of the recession. If you remember last year, we had Fidelity left the state of Massachusetts, a homegrown great corporation, Fidelity. And why did they leave? They didn't leave to go to China. They didn't leave to go to a low-cost region. They went to Rhode Island. They went to New Hampshire. Why? Because they couldn't compete. It was too expensive to run their business here. And remember, they're not making anything. They're not a manufacturer. They move paper. Can you imagine being a manufacturer in Massachusetts trying to make it where you have the highest utility costs in the nation, where we have the highest healthcare cost in the nation, we have our unemployment costs through the roof, overregulated? How do we compete in Massachusetts? Manufacturing is the 4th largest employer in the state, but it has the 2nd largest payroll. Think about that. 4th largest employer, 2nd largest payroll. What that means is manufacturing is where people can get good, strong jobs, where you can have a family, where you can buy a home, where you can have the American dream. Those are not decent jobs, those are good jobs, manufacturing. And they can't compete. My background is in manufacturing, as well as other industries, but manufacturing is where I cut my teeth. I know it intimately. I'm a management consultant. I work with a lot of manufacturers, and they're having a hard time. Well, because of the recession, they've had to cut back on staff, as everyone has. And as they saw their orders get a little better, and they would love to do some hiring, they won't. They say they can't. Because if they do, they'll have to pay more. If they bring their roles up to a point where they now have to bring people further into healthcare, where they have to pay more in unemployment, where unemployment was just scheduled to increase another $200 per person, per employee. How do manufacturers take that on? How do hospitals take that on? How does any entity take that on during a recession? Luckily, it was blocked up at the State House and it didn't happen. But this was the threat, and they saw it coming down the pike, so everyone stopped and says, we're not going to do hiring. We need to be competitive. Not so much with the global economy, with the regional economy. We need to compete with Rhode Island, New York, New Hampshire. Why are we so uncompetitive with those areas? I'll tell you why. Because we created a climate where we cannot compete. And that has everything to do with the legislature. We need to reverse the trend. We've lost 1/3 of all of our corporate offices over the last 20 years. 1/3. With that went 250,000 jobs. Not companies that went out of business. They're the ones that went to Rhode Island, the Midwest, down south, manufacturing, good jobs. We need to get them back. Massachusetts, look, we all live here, is a great state to live in because of what it offers. We have the seasons, we have the terrain, we have the ocean, we have the Cape. We have a lot. But unfortunately, we've created a climate where we can't compete. Let's turn it around. Let's open up what's going on up at Beacon Hill so that we can see how and why they're creating bills. Enough with the behind-the-scenes deals that are going on. Enough with the corruption that's going on. Have you all heard about the imminent indictments that are coming down the pike? in regards to the probation scandal. Again, after 3 speakers getting indicted with convictions, here we are again, Massachusetts. We're leading the country, one more time, with corruption. We can turn this around. I'm running for state senate in the Plymouth and Barnstable district against the second most powerful person in state politics, the Senate President, Therese Murray. We got 48% of the vote 2 years ago. We need to swing 2 points. Can we do it? Yes, yes we can. I appreciate your support today. We have 10 months to go. This campaign is getting an awful lot of attention. Worcester called us and said they'd like to have a fundraiser for us. Worcester cares. A victory here will change the leadership up at Beacon Hill, and we'll have an opportunity. We're going to have Scott Brown on the ticket. We're going to have, looks like, probably Mitt Romney on the ticket. These are Massachusetts individuals that are going to have a strong get out the vote. There is an opportunity in Massachusetts to make a dent. Let's make that dent. I appreciate all your support. My name is Tom Keyes, and let's get it done. Thanks, everyone.